Marcus never imagined that updating his own Wi-Fi password would summon law enforcement to his doorstep at midnight. But there they were, two weary officers, flashlights slicing through the darkness, and Karen, his next-door nemesis, planted behind them like she'd cracked the FBI's most wanted list. "Sir, we received a complaint of unauthorized hacking," the older cop droned, fighting a yawn. "Your neighbor alleges you tampered with her internet." Marcus blinked twice, then laughed. Karen's crimson face remained frozen in righteous triumph. "Ma'am," he said, rubbing his temples, "you're accusing me of hacking the Wi-Fi I pay for?" "Yes," she snapped. "My son and I were using it just fine until you sabotaged it." The irony hit Marcus like a slap. She'd confessed to freeloading in front of the police. "All I did was change my password," he explained. "My speeds tanked because half the street was piggybacking." Karen gasped, clutching her pearls of entitlement. "You destroyed our community spirit." The younger officer exchanged a look with his partner. "Sir, do you want to press charges?" Technically, stealing bandwidth is theft. Tempting, but Marcus had a better plan. "No, officer. I'd just like to sleep." Relieved, they warned Karen to stop siphoning data and left. Karen, sputtering with rage, vowed, "This isn't over." By dawn, the neighborhood buzzed. Marcus's mailbox overflowed with Karen's melodramatic letters. "Shame on you for wrecking unity. God sees what you did," plus a petition demanding he restore the Wi-Fi of the people, signed a dozen times in Karen's handwriting. Gossip painted Marcus as a conniving hacker. The barista whispered. Children were pulled away. Even the mailman pitied him. That night, while tightening security, Marcus spotted a phantom device still connected. Impossible, he'd changed the password twice. A chill crept up his spine. Someone was tunneling through his network again, and they weren't just streaming movies. Log files revealed bank logins, crypto wallets, real cybercrime. The IP trace pointed straight at Karen's address. Suspicion hardened into purpose. Marcus reopened a decoy network called free_public_Wi-Fi and installed tracking software. Within minutes, the same device latched on, burrowing into financial accounts. The culprit was no casual moocher. This was deliberate theft. Marcus printed every log, timestamps, IP addresses, file paths, then marched to Karen's porch. She answered with a glare. "Come to apologize?" "We need to talk," he said, brandishing the proof. Karen rolled her eyes. "Did my lawn offend you now? Someone in your house is hacking through my router." Confusion flickered before indignation flared. "Brad!" she yelled. 17-year-old Brad clumped downstairs, gaming headset dangling, white-knuckling his laptop. "Explain," Karen demanded, waving the evidence. Brad stammered, eyes darting toward the door. Marcus spotted raw panic. "Hand over the laptop," Karen ordered. Brad balked. She snatched it anyway, flipped the lid, and her face drained of color. A spreadsheet of stolen login credentials glowed on the screen. Crypto wallets, credit card numbers, months of plunder. Karen's voice trembled. "Bradley, what is this?" "It's nothing. People share accounts all the time," he muttered. Marcus folded his arms. "Yeah? And the banking logins? The wallets? That's grand theft, kid." Karen rocked, disbelief morphing into terror. "They'll trace this to us." Brad bit his lip. He knew. For once, Karen's bluster sputtered out. She dropped the laptop like it was radioactive. "Oh my God." Marcus nodded. "That was my reaction too." Karen's mind scrambled for an escape hatch. "You won't tell anyone, right? We can forget this." "I'll bake cookies." "I'm gluten intolerant," Marcus replied flatly. "Fine, I'll pay you," she hissed. "Lady, your son committed felonies." This was bound to explode. Her face contorted. She jabbed a finger at Brad. "Tell me Marcus hacked your computer," Brad gaped. "Mom, no." Knuckles rattled the front door. 3 heavy thuds that froze the room. A deep voice boomed. FBI. We need to speak with Bradley Smith. Karen blanched. Brad's knees wobbled. Marcus sipped his coffee, heartbeat steady. Right on time, he mused. Karen hissed. You called them. Your son's digital fingerprints called them. Marcus answered. Another thunderous knock. Open the door, or we're coming in. Karen's survival instincts short-circuited. She seized Brad's laptop and shoved it toward Marcus. Take it. You planted this. Marcus recoiled. You're framing me now? From outside, Mrs. Smith, we have a warrant. Karen bolted, hurtled over furniture, and in a burst of lunacy, leapt through the back window screen. Glass shattered. She landed in her own garden gnome display with a graceless thud. Brad slapped a hand to his face. She's lost it. The front door splintered. FBI agents flooded in, weapons drawn, securing Brad and retrieving the laptop. Marcus still held. An agent eyed the backyard carnage. We'll need medics for that one. Marcus leaned against the wall, exhaling. He'd only wanted faster Wi-Fi. Instead, he'd uncovered interstate cybercrime. And the night was far from over. FBI tech specialists huddled over Brad's machine, their gloved fingers flying across keys. Scrolls of code filled the screen, confirming months of data siphoned from victims across 5 states. Brad sagged, cuffed, eyes rimmed red. An agent addressed Marcus. Your vigilance saved a lot of people, friend. This operation's been on our radar, but your logs gave us the smoking gun. Marcus managed a tired smile. I just wanted my bandwidth back. Outside, EMTs guided a limping Karen onto a stretcher. Her robe was shredded, her dignity worse. She yelled over her shoulder. He's the real hacker. He framed my baby. The lead agent sighed. Ma'am, we've tracked your son's wallet. Addresses, VPN hops, everything. Blaming your neighbor won't fly. Karen's protest wilted into a raspy whine. Brad winced, whispering, Mom, please stop. Agents ushered Brad through the doorway. He paused, looking at Marcus, half apology, half defeat. Marcus nodded, equal parts pity and relief. As flashing lights faded down the street, a heavy stillness settled. Marcus surveyed the chaos. Splintered doorframe, scattered glass, Karen's abandoned rage letters. He inhaled, savoring the first peaceful breath in weeks, then returned home, triple-checked his firewall, and finally slept. Morning sunrise painted the cul-de-sac gold. News traveled faster than a meme. FBI raid, hacker teen, mom jumped through window. By noon, Karen's driveway brimmed with movers boxing ceramic gnomes and her endless collection of live, laugh, love signs. She barked orders, hobbling on a sprained ankle, but the fury in her eyes had cooled to humiliation. Marcus watered his front garden. George, the elderly neighbor, shuffled by and tipped his cap. Heard the Smiths are relocating. Seems so, Marcus replied. George chuckled. Guess standing up for yourself paid off. Marcus watched the moving truck swallow the last of Karen's possessions. Oh, I definitely won. But victory came with perspective. That evening, Marcus opened his laptop, not to check packet logs, but to draft a community message. He explained, calmly and clearly, why he'd protected his network, what real cyber theft looks like, and how neighbors could secure their own connections. No blame, no bragging, just facts and friendly advice. He ended with a reminder, respect each other's boundaries. That's the real community spirit. The response was overwhelming. Residents who'd avoided him now thanked him. The coffee shop barista handed him a free latte. Parents asked for tips on setting parental controls. Even the mailman grinned, relieved the Wi-Fi hacker myth had been debunked. Days later, Marcus received an official letter. The Department of Justice recognized him for assisting in the arrest of an interstate cyber fraud suspect. Inside was a modest reward check. Money Brad had illegally transferred, now returned to its unintended route. Marcus donated half to a local coding camp. hoping to steer teens toward ethical hacking instead of crime. One quiet Sunday, a new family moved into Karen's former house, a couple with a toddler and a golden retriever named Biscuit. They introduced themselves warmly, then asked, "By the way, who's your internet provider? We need recommendations." Marcus smiled, offered guidance, and before they left slipped them a handwritten note. "Change your default password on day 1. Life regained its rhythm." Marcus planted new flowers where Karen's angry notes once littered his porch. He hosted a small barbecue, inviting every neighbor who'd whispered behind coffee cups. Laughter replaced suspicion. Burgers replaced rumors. Near sunset, George clinked a soda bottle against Marcus's. "Crazy how drama can ripple through a street," the old man mused. "You kept your head and handled it right, friend." Marcus looked across the calm block, streetlights winking on. "I learned something," he said. "Sometimes the simplest boundary, like a new password, reveals who respects you and who exploits you." George nodded. "And sometimes it flushes out real danger." Marcus agreed. Karen's theatrics had unmasked a genuine criminal. By refusing to back down, he'd protected his identity, his neighbors, even strangers miles away. He felt lighter, stronger, armed not with paranoia, but with awareness. That night, he logged onto his secure network, checked the device list, only his phone, laptop, and smart TV, and exhaled. No phantom intruders, no stolen bandwidth. His cursor hovered over the Wi-Fi name. On a whim, he renamed it Joe Mercy HOA Network, a private joke, a quiet victory lap, and a reminder that boundaries, once respected, allowed generosity to flourish. Marcus closed the laptop, stepped outside, and watched as Biscuit chased fireflies across the yard where garden gnomes once cowered. Peace, at last, was password protected, and it felt indestructible.